Hi everyone, welcome to this week's music lesson. So this term in music, we're listening to songs from lots of different genres, so lots of different musical genres this term. And today we are learning to explore Baroque music. And our success criteria today is listen to a song and analyse it, identify what makes the song Baroque, and perform a Baroque song. Okay, our questions for this week. So let's have a go at these and see what we can remember. So the first question says, blues music usually has happy and upbeat or sad and melancholic lyrics. Okay, what did you say? Blues music usually has sad and melancholic lyrics. Well done if you got that right. Next, a question from last term. Hip hop music often includes rapping. Is that true or false? It is true. And finally, we had this question last week, but I noticed a lot of people are still not getting this one right. And it's so important to all of our music lessons because we always try and find the pulse in our music lessons. So let's try again this week. In music, the word pulse means the steady beat or high and low sounds. Which one is it? What does pulse mean? It means the steady beat, like the heartbeat of the song. Okay, so the big question today, what is Baroque music? So let's listen to this song. So it's the same song in the groove this week, but remember each week it's changed so that it sounds in the it's in the style of the type of music we're looking at. So this week, In the Groove by Joanna Mangona is in a Baroque style. So I want you to think about these questions again as you're listening, and then we'll come back and have and talk about it in a minute. So think about whether you like the song, what can you hear in the song? So what kind of musical instruments can you hear? Can you hear a voice? Can you hear a singer? What is the style of this music? And how is the song put together? What are the parts? So does it have an introduction? Does it have a chorus? Does it have verses? So have a think about these questions while you listen to the song. I'm just going to share my screen with you. And let me just check that I've included the sound as well. Yes, lovely. Okay, so listen and have a think about those questions. I'll put them up on the screen as we go as well. Okay, right. So let's think about these questions then. Do you like the song? Have a chat about that now. Pause the screen. Okay, remember, whether you like the song or not is completely up to you. It's your own opinion. You don't have to like any music, and music this week is definitely quite different to what you might usually listen to. So the most important thing is that you can explain why you do like it or why you don't like it. Next question, what can you hear? So pause the screen to have a think about what you could hear in the music today. Okay, so there are a few different instruments. There was definitely a trumpet, especially in the instrumentals in the introduction, and the instrumental in the middle and the outro. There was also something called a harpsichord playing throughout. Now, you might have not heard a harpsichord before, so we are going to look at what a harpsichord is in a minute so that you have a better idea of what that is. Because it's quite an unusual sound, and we don't hear it in music these days very often. There was also lots of wind instruments. That's instruments that you blow into. So things like trumpet is a wind instrument, but also things like flutes are wind instruments as well. You can hear a bit of that too. And also in terms of the voices that we can hear, we can hear female voice singing the song, couldn't we? So what is this style of music? Now, if you were listening really carefully in the beginning, I told you that this week we're learning about Baroque music. So this is, the song is in the style of Baroque music. Can you practice saying Baroque? Amazing. Okay, and how does the song put together? What are the parts? So can you pause the screen here to have a think about what different parts the song has? So as I was saying before, in the introduction to the song and the instrumental in the middle and the ending, there is a trumpet. So we've got the introduction, we've got the first verse singing I am in the groove, and then there's an instrumental in the middle with trumpets, and then there's the second verse, and then there's the outro with the trumpets as well. And throughout the whole song, there's that harpsichord playing as well. And when we listen to the sound of a harpsichord in a minute, you'll be able to identify it really clearly. Okay, so now we're going to play our Charango warm-up game. So let me share my screen again. Okay, oh, no, not that one. Okay, so remember, we're finding the pulse. We're moving to the pulse of the song. That steady beat. Like one of the penguins. Get ready to copy these actions in time with the pulse. So clap back these rhythm patterns. Try and clap the rhythm of your family's. So have a go at clapping to So I'm just going to pause that there. Last week I was having a go at singing along, but I realised that my singing wasn't quite in time with the music. So I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going to leave you to listen to the pitch, so the high and low sounds in the song, and sing it back. Okay, so stand up straight and smile and get ready. Carefully again. Here we go. Amazing, great work, guys. So impressive. Right, let's have a look, see what we're doing next. So, Baroque, just to explain a bit about Baroque music, it's a period of music that refers to an era that started around 1600 and ended around 1750. So a really, really long time ago, over 300 years ago is when this music is from, which is why you probably haven't or possibly haven't heard it before. It's a very old style of music. And it included composers like Bach, Vivaldi, and Handel. So that was the names of some famous composers of the time. And this is the time when the orchestra was created. So we still have orchestras these days, and opera became popular as well. So the style of singing opera. So here are some of the instruments that are really common in Baroque music. So here we've got a photograph of a string orchestra. So an orchestra, a string orchestra, is a group of people playing string instruments. So as you can see here, there's a few different types of string instruments. We've got them here. So there's a cello. This person here is playing a cello. So you can see it's quite a large instrument, and she's using her bow to move along the strings to make the music. And then underneath, we've got a viola, which is a bigger version of a violin, essentially. And again, it's using that bow to play the strings. And then we've got a violin here. So you can see a viola and a violin are really similar looking instruments. And then we've got a double bass here. So it's even bigger than a cello. But again, they all look very similar, don't they, these string instruments? And double bass can be, I think you can use a bow to play it, or you can just pluck the strings a bit like you would with a guitar. So these are all string instruments that are present in a string orchestra that's in Baroque music. It's also common to hear a trumpet. So here is a picture of a trumpet, and that's a type of wind instrument, you blow into it. And there's also often a bassoon and an oboe in the music as well. So again, two wind instruments that you blow into. And then finally, the one that I was talking about before, that you can usually hear playing throughout the song in Baroque music, is a harpsichord. Now pause here to have a think about what a harpsichord looks like. What instrument does a harpsichord look like that you might be more familiar with? Did you say piano? Yes, it is quite similar to a piano, isn't it? Similar looking to a piano. Okay, so actually, before we listen to this next Baroque song, I'm going to get a video up of somebody playing a harpsichord so you can really hear what it sounds like. So I'm just going to stop sharing now. And hopefully it will Okay, so this is a lady playing a harpsichord. So have a look and have a listen to the sounds. So as you can see, it is played similarly to a piano. There are lots of keys that you need to press. And this lady is doing a very amazing job of moving her fingers super fast along the keys to play her music. So similar to a piano. And if you look at the decoration around it, it's really beautiful, isn't it? There's lots of patterns. It's a really beautiful looking instrument. So now that you've heard that, maybe go back and have a listen to the song again and see if you can really identify that harpsichord sound. So let's go back to... So now we're going to listen to another Baroque song. And this is a real song that wasn't just made for your lessons. It's called Let the Bright Seraphim by Handel. So he was one of the composers that I mentioned before, one of the popular composers when Baroque music was first around. So it's Let the Bright Seraphim by Handel. So we're going to listen to the song. I'm also going to play you a video of it being performed. Now, this isn't being performed 300 years ago. The song is from around 300 years ago, but this actual performance is, I think, probably from around the 60s, 70s kind of time. So let's have a look and listen to this song. So this is performed by Kathleen Battle and Wynton Marsalis. What did you think? Let's have a look at these questions then. Okay, so firstly, do you like the song? Pause here to have a think and try and explain why you do or don't like it. Okay, next, what is the style of this music? Can you remember the style of music that we are listening to today? Pause the screen to have a think. There are clues on the screen as well. It is Baroque music, yes. So what can you hear then? What helps us to know that it's Baroque music? Did you hear that instrument that we were just talking about? Can you remember what it's called? So pause here to have a think about all those different things you could hear. So in this song, there was one female singer, wasn't there? We could see her as well. She was a soprano. That means she has a really high-pitched voice, and she is singing in an operatic style. And the trumpet plays a lead role in this song. There's a string orchestra as well in the background that you could see too, consisting of violins, violas, cellos, and double basses. So all those string instruments that we talked about before. And there's also that instrument that you can hear throughout the song. Did you hear it? Can you remember what it's called? The harpsichord, yeah, and we can see that in the video as well. There's also a solo that the trumpet played. And also thinking about the tempo, do you think is it a fast song or a slow song or somewhere in the middle? It changes tempo through the song, doesn't it, at times, but it's mostly quite a fast song, fast tempo. And also thinking about the dynamics of the song, is it loud or quiet or in between? So it's quite a loud song, but as the texture thickens throughout, as there's more and more instruments, the dynamics get louder. Okay, and what about the style of, how is the song put together? Let's think about how the song's put together. Can you pause here to have a think about how the song's put together? Okay, so it's got the introduction, has the string orchestra, and there's like a harpsichord as well, obviously, it goes throughout the song, and the trumpet too. Then there's the first verse of the song. Then there's an instrumental where it's the string orchestra is playing again, and the harpsichord and the trumpet. And then there's verse 2, which is performed in a really similar way to the first verse. That's how it's put together. And the style indicators, we've already talked about some of them, the things that we can hear in the song, but some of the other things that help us to know how it's a Baroque song is that it's from the 1700s. It's a very old song, and the subject matter of the lyrics is religious. So it's quite hard to work out the lyrics to the song when it's sung in that style, in opera, in an opera voice. But the lyrics to the song are actually quite religious lyrics, and music in the 1700s, quite often, the Baroque music did have lyrics that were religious, because it was a very kind of religious Christian time back then. So let me just go back and find out what we're doing next. So now we're going to hear the Baroque version of In the Groove again, but this time we're going to sing along to it. Okay, so we're going to have the lyrics up on the screen again, but because we're singing the same song each week, and those lyrics are really repetitive, it's just I am in the groove in the chorus of the song. Okay, are you ready? Remember to have a go at finding the pulse and singing along. So let's find out what your task is going to be today. So your main task, just like last week, is to go on Teams to answer some questions about the songs and about Baroque music. And then your stretch challenge this week is to listen again to Let the Bright Seraphim by Handel. So that second song that we listened to. And draw a picture showing how it makes you feel. So a bit like Kandinsky. Remember we learned about Kandinsky in art last term, and his abstract art was all inspired by music. So can you make your own music-inspired art by listening to the Let the Bright Seraphim by Handel? So have a go at that. Send a photo in if you're doing that stretch challenge as well. And if you'd like to send in a video too to show us you're singing along, then you're perfectly welcome to do that. We'd love to see it as well. So thanks everybody. See you later.